Howdy y'all and good morning. So, out of the bath. Went out of the bath, put my castor bean oil on, went and laid down for a good 10 to 20 minutes till I can get my energy back up. Those of you that know. I'm going to be flat honest. Did I want to make a video this morning? No. Do I want to get dressed up and look pretty? No. Do I feel like I'm worthy of that? No. Do you want to know why? It don't matter. It really just don't matter. Anyways, it is what it is. So the only thing I can do to combat that is to make myself do what I don't want to do. Which I've done that this morning. I've done my daily devotional. I've read my chapters of scripture. I need to go back and do more, and I will. But right this minute, I'm not. So, you know, I don't know. I am one that fasts. I do a lot of fasting. I did a 3-day fast. Then I ate like crazy. I am going to start a fast. It won't be today. And the reason why is I'm going to town. Not this town, not that town, not that town, not the other town, but I'm going to a town. And I'm specifically looking for something. And there is a sandwich at a fast food restaurant that I'm craving. And scripturally, I probably should not be eating at this fast food restaurant because it's one of them. I was shocked, but it's one of them that's like, President Putin said that that's one of the American restaurants that's putting human flesh in food, and I hope it's not. If I research I've been eating human flesh, I'm probably never going to eat meat again, which is what got me to stop eating meat about 2 to 3 years ago. Okay, my mom is almost 100% vegetarian, so that was a big part of it. And then I was like, oh my God, we got to be vegetarian because look, or buy only local meat from local farmers. Because look, and the research did show a couple of things. I'm scared to tell you what restaurants. Just do your research. And it could have been a whole crock of crap, but I don't think so. Because there ain't enough cows on the planet to feed everybody that much beef every single day. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if it's a sin to eat at this particular restaurant, well, today I'm going to be sinful because I have the money to do it, and I'll research tomorrow if it was human meat or not, and if it was, I won't eat there again. But I started eating these sandwiches, and I have to have like one a week. They're good. They're at a restaurant. You get 2 with au jus sauce for $8, and it's the au jus sauce that just sells it. It takes me back to when I was working at a fast food restaurant, not the one that I got the sandwich from, and the nursing home. And at the time, the sandwiches was like 2 for $5, I think. And so I'd have one for lunch and one for dinner. So it kind of brings me back to a sentimental time, only they don't have the pepperoni peppers no more, and that's what really hit it home too. But, yeah. So, So my son's going to take me to town, and he knows what his mama wants. And so I've got to get a binder, a certain binder. The kids have theirs, so I've got to get mine. And I'm going to use this pencil today. I might even use the blue. Hold on. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll hide. You know, I listened to a lady speak today, and she was grieving. Her husband had passed away, and they've been in a relationship for probably about 20 years, 10 being married and 10 being, dating. And she spoke about grief and the process of grief, which is something that I have spoke upon. And how grief affects people differently. Now, she's grieving the life of her husband. He passed away. It was unexpected, and she had to get on with her life because of her children, because she didn't want them to lose their mother as well. And my type of grief, it's not, I haven't lost a spouse in death, those kinds of things. But, this home, we had put $44,000 in this home to make this trailer. It did not look like a trailer. It looked decent and beautiful before the flood. So I'm hurting. I gotta stand up. So I was grieving that, grieving the loss of my health, and I'm still dealing with those things, because I put so much pride in, being a capable wife and a capable mom. And so when you have fake friends like Job did, fake people come in and said, well, you're just not happy enough, or you're just not doing this enough, or you're just not doing that enough, or you didn't pray the right way, or God doesn't deem you as favorable because you did this sin 25 years ago. Finally, someone got the same thing that they felt the same thing that I did. She got to the point she's just like, shut up. Just shut up. You're giving unsolicited, godly advice when you're not a God. Job was speaking correctly. He was living in it. It was his story. It was his circumstance. You are fake. You're coming in. You're not the one that your health lost. It's not your home that flooded out. It's not your children's items that's going in the trash, and you're grieving that when you had made boxes and boxes of stuff for them to have for their kids, the same John Deere tractor overalls and those John Deere tractor shoes and things like that. This isn't your life that you're grieving. Your health didn't get taken from you. Your home didn't get taken from you. Your husband didn't break his back at work. These are not things you've dealt with. Did your husband do CPR on you? No. Okay, then shut up. Shut up. You couldn't sit with me for 5 minutes. You couldn't hear me cry. You said my tears was fake. I am done with people of the world. Shut up and leave me alone. Let me sit in my grief. This grief came to me from God. Yes, it did. He allowed this to happen, just like he allowed it with Job. He did. He has allowed it to happen. Therefore, this is my story, and I'm going to have to try to figure it out with God on how to come out of it. And hopefully, he will help me. I'm still having hope in that. It's the people that take the hope away. And part of that is my fault. I shouldn't have asked people, I shouldn't have let people in on it. That's the mistake I made. I should have just pretended like everything is fine. Then it wouldn't have been held over my head. But everything wasn't fine. It's still not fine. There are things that still greatly bother me. There are still things that I'm trying to understand. And I don't want to deal with a lot of people right now. And I shouldn't have to. When I tell you I'm not ready to be around a whole bunch of people, and I've told you some to extent as to why, and then you held that against me, you said that was my fault too. Is it my fault that I was born? Let's go down to the very basics here. I am about sick and tired of humans. Not all humans. Some humans are still good. There are people that act like they don't commit no sins. They're saints. Let's be real here. How much of a saint are you? And in some of the great sin you've committed, perhaps you've learned along the way, but also perhaps you haven't, And certain people are like, hey, I've made it to the top from nothing, so figure it out. And there's certain people that's like, I've had a whole mastectomy, and I didn't have to have no pain meds, so you don't need pain meds. Does that make you a hero? Do you feel like you're a hero because you put someone down? Do you? And furthermore, to the one person that said they didn't have no narcotics during your surgery, that medication you were on is a narcotic. You just don't want to admit it. And you're not being truthful. Just thought you should know. Oh, God, my spine. So I'm going to try to get down here and do this makeup down here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at the moment. It's in between my shoulder blades. I'm just going to tell you, the piece was left in my spine right here. That hurts, and it hurts all the way up to the tip of my neck. And right between my shoulder blades, it feels like I'm being stabbed in my back this way. And when the gallstones start acting up, it feels like I'm being stabbed back this way too. Right now, my gallstones are not acting up. I lost a lot of weight about, was it last week or the week before? I started profusely throwing up, and then I started fasting because I had to quit throwing up. And I didn't eat for several days, like over a week straight, because I had to get these gallstones to stop hurting. And then when I started introducing food, it was eggs. 2 eggs. Sometimes I couldn't get but 1.5 8, but I would try. So that's where we're at. Did I have my eggs this morning? No, I haven't ate breakfast this morning. I still tried to fast. I'm going to break my fast because I'm going to a fast food restaurant and I'm going to eat a particular sandwich. And my conscience says, Amberly, you need to look up and see if this is one of the fast food chains. And it's like, if I do, I'm not going to eat. What do I do? So part of me feels like I'm sinning. So you know what I'm probably going to do? Oh, and yesterday I didn't get to go to the riverbank because I was making the cobbler and it didn't get finished. That was the best cobbler we ever made. They still had plenty for breakfast. They loved it. I have a son that just got through eating some just now. The other boys went hunting with their daddy, and that's part of what they had for breakfast. So, there's where we're at so far. We've got our eyebrows did. We've got our waterline did. We've got our, we're using this as primer, okay? It'll work, trust me. That's did. So we're just going to add a slight little bit of something. Do I want some color today? I don't know. I do have some sage green on. I'll go with this palette. So, this is $1.25 at Dollar Tree. If they still have it. I haven't bought makeup in a long time, okay? You don't have to buy a new palette every day, okay? I take good care of my makeup. I do. I keep it put up. I keep it nice and neat. I have all boys, but I have given them some of my makeup. The reason why is they turned it into some awesome art, okay? So, there's that. Let me go in with this. if you have eyelids that have like, you know, wrinkles from age or losing a lot of weight, mine's both. When you put your makeup on, hold your eyes up. Use a brush like this with like a point. Put your product in and then blend above. And what that will do is it will make like a shadow. You know what I'm saying? I don't have it all the way blended, but here. It'll create like a shadow to where your eyes don't look so gaunt. That makes sense? Oh, and another thing. I was talking to my friends yesterday, and she's like, but Amberly, I've been trying to fast, and when I break my fast, then and I start eating, she's like, I get irritable, mean, angry, like, she's like, I feel like I'm a bitch. And so I asked her, said, how are you breaking your fast? She's like, by the time I break my fast, I am so hungry. I just grab something. I grab coffee, a donut, and whatever I can get in my plethora. It's been 3 days since I ate. Sister, that's where it's at. And I understand what you're saying, because when I first started fasting, my body would want to break it and crave those things. When you break your fast, it's just like if you clean your whole home out and you don't put it back with nice, good things or whatever. If it stays empty, it's going to be filled with demonic things, right? It can be empty space, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole nother ballgame. We'll get into that later. Same for your body. When you break your fast, put the healthy stuff in it. I know it's only natural. It feels natural to go for, you know, if your sugar feels low, go for sugar. No, no, no. That's not how you break a fast. Not when you're doing it healthily and biblically. So when you break your fast, Brother Jacob, okay, at jacobslink.com, he says key limes, salt, and cayenne pepper in your water make your drink. And that's how you start your morning before your coffee. Then you follow that up with at least an ounce of coconut oil. I'm not joking. That will hydrate you at cellular level. Okay? That will help your intestines and your bowels to have moisture. It will help the elasticity. That's what you need to break with. When you get hungry, go in for a protein or a fruit followed by a protein. When you first start breaking your fast, you may have to have a lot of protein. When I went straight from fasting to fruit, now I can handle it to a degree. I still have to have protein at an extent, but not always right away. Not always a fruit and a protein, right? One day I'll do a whole video of my whole day or a whole week of fasting. Y'all hear the dog snoring? If y'all hear him snoring, he's not an English bulldog. He sounds like he is, but he's not. He's a Chihuahua, but he sounds like he's an English. He's curled up in the bed and he's just snoring away. In my house. Oh, yeah, I was back from hunting.
Guess what?
What? Did you get a deer?
Yep.
You got a deer?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
No.
No, you really got one.
Yeah. We almost all had one, but
For real?
yeah, because we.
The Lord is blessing the freezer. What?
Because Zeke shot, it scared them all over us. And then Easton shot. Easton's deer fell over. A lot of blood, but we couldn't find it, even though it fell where it shot at.
You think y'all can find it this afternoon?
Probably.
When you start praying and thanking God, He starts blessing. Okay. Now, technically, I want to use the other color. Listen, if I was out in the studio where all my brushes were together, and blushes. I don't have electric out there, but I want it so bad. Anyways, if I had my fine liners, I really want to show you how to make any kind of custom color eyeliner you want to make. Like, I could customize an eyeliner right now, and I can make it stay. But I don't have my brushes to show y'all. I'll do that eventually. Goals. Y'all keep praying. Y'all keep praying. If you love me, you keep praying. My business gets up and running so I get my self-esteem back. If you love me, pray for that. We'll just see if you really do love me or not. That's how it's supposed to look. This is brown. I technically wanted to use black, but and this is LA Colors. So $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Now, if you go to Family Dollar, it's at least $1.50, and I've seen them for $1.75. Because Gore Family Dollar, it's $1.50, and Warner Family Dollar, it's $1.75. If you go to Muskogee to just a regular Dollar Tree, these are $1.25, and they typically have the black, the brown, and sometimes they'll have a blue. And the blue is very pretty. Now, the blue does not last as long. It will dry up a lot quicker. Or maybe it's because I use it a lot more. I don't know. Blue is one of my favorite colors. Oh, it used to be said in my family it was so unladylike to wear blue fingernail polish. And I'm like, where did you get that? Because I see women with red, and in some countries, you're not supposed to wear red fingernail polish unless you're a harlot or a prostitute. Seriously. And my dad, I gotta fix myself. And my dad was like, that is true, because when he was in like the military and stuff, he went to different places. But like Okinawa, Japan, and I've heard a lot about that place. And I think it was somewhere in Japan. It might have been the Philippines though, because he's been to both. But the women, if they had red fingernail polish on, red lipstick, now red lipstick they can wear, but if they had red fingernail polish or a bangle on their ankles, it means they were up for sale. I believe is what he said. You couldn't always tell by red lipstick because a married woman is allowed to wear red lipstick, he would say. I can't remember the whole story. I don't know exactly where it was from. My point is, depending on where you're at, some places, if you cross your legs, and I believe that's in Japan, Mr. Coco, our teacher, he taught us that if you cross your legs in another country, it's the same thing as flipping people off. And he became our teacher down there, and I didn't know that. I've always been wanting to cross my legs, because a lot of teachers cross their legs. You know, when they set the story up, and they're like, they'd sit down and then properly cross their legs, bring out the book, and let's read in the reading circle, right? And then he came up to me one day and he went to my knee, and I was like, what? Uncross your legs. And I was like, but why? And he said, because in some countries, it's the same as flipping people off. Now, he didn't take offense to it. That was part of our lesson. I was like, you were my teacher in high school. Now you're my professor in college, and you're just now telling me this? And he was like, but it fits the lesson. He said, and I also know the culture where I'm at right now. And he said, I know a lot of the reason why a lot of the women in the South cross their legs. He said, it's because it's to show they're very much guarded, they're protected, they're a lady, and they have morals and ethics. They're not here for anything but to teach. And so he respected me, I respected him. And so then it became, I knew I was safe with him. The man had 3 daughters, and they were all very, very safe to be around, you know. And he recognized art and things like that. He loved the fact that my name was Amber. Amberly, but Amber, he knew it was like, he knew how amber was made. He knew it was a gem. He knew it was a color, and he was like, so fitting for you. And also that, something else. Oh, he wore jade. He wore a lot of jade, and he liked real gold with his jade. And it had something to do with, he kept a jade pendant like this, and it was quite long, and then he had another couple of jade emblems on his necklace, you know, and he'd put them underneath his tie, but that had something to do with his spiritual beliefs. I don't remember what they are. I know it had to do with a lot of energy and things like that, but don't quote me on everything. I've had a lot of brain surgeries. I took a lot of naps since then. I don't know the whole story, but it was just quite interesting. Now, I'm going to tell you, I messed up on my eye. Can you see where? Right here. Told you I wasn't perfect, but y'all seem to think that I think I'm perfect. No, I don't. I'll tell you what, though. I have gotten tired of my same sins being brought out for 20-something years that I just was like, well, then here's your sins. I ain't doing it now. So what? They sinned, I sinned, everybody sinned. I don't believe that one sin is just a sin either. I believe there are different types of sin. And there are sin that if you knew better before you did it, and you still did it, and you're trying to say, I'm honest, I'm a saint. I'd like to give you some used toilet paper, but you ain't getting my used toilet paper. Use your own and then just say, here's how much of a saint I am. I just have to tell you that. But who knows? I don't know if you really did it or not. You do. God does. You're just going to have to forgive me. I have to stand up to do my mascara. My spine is hurting, y'all. Feels like it's coming right out, like it's going to come out right here between my shoulder blades, like it's just going to come out like a knife and just, I'm out now. It's like it's trying to jump out underneath my skin. And I'm going to tell you something, this arm is burning too, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to tell you something. I think a man can overcome anything if they have a good father. I think my dad could have overcome what he had gone through had he had a good father and a good role model. When he moved to Oklahoma and he was away from his family, and his mom, my dad's mom let him get away with murder. Even as an adult, he could talk to his mom, call her, and all that. Now, my Uncle George would get involved, and he would behave. Now, Uncle George also respected my father. He did. He would say, Rick, you didn't deserve the life you was given. It's not your fault your dad died. You know, and he helped my dad understand, because my dad thought his dad got murdered. He was convinced his dad got murdered because he seen blood. But they had went trot lining. And in Texas, they caught these big old catfish. And so, the bigger they are, you bleed them out and you clean them. It's just like, you know, you just heard the boys, they got a deer today. At least one, they might have got more. What I'm trying to tell you is they're going to bleed that deer out. They're going to, you know, hold it upside down, slice its throat, take all the guts out. You know, you do all that. You clean it out, take the water hose, you wash it real good, real good. And if you notice, when you eat wild game, because you're catching them, you're not catching them, but you're shooting them in their nature, so they're happy. Like the deer, they're happy deer. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not caged birds locked in a cage. I wonder if that's why we get a lot of depression, because the meat we do eat is depressed meat. They're not living the free life that they were designed to live. I often wonder that, if that plays a part in a lot of our depression. We're getting toxins in from the environment. We're getting toxins in from the outside. We have, environmental toxins in your home, in trying to clean the home with toxins and chemicals. And I have tried to go to clean the home with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol around the bathroom, things like that. And like vinegar. I used to clean my home a lot with vinegar. My husband cannot stand the smell of vinegar. He's like, it smells so much like piss to me. It don't feel clean to me. He used to say when he'd drive up to the house, he's like, oh my God. But I had cleaned that day, and I had been making pickles. So he hated that time of the year. But we had a lot of cucumbers. This is when we lived in the house in town, and we lived up at Nanny's, and when we lived here, I've canned pickles. And as I've canned, I've cleaned, and yeah. So, but I haven't done a lot of that since the house flooded. I don't feel like this home is clean enough to do that. That cobbler tasted so good. If I had a clean home, I would have shared it with like both my neighbors. But because of the situation of our home, I felt like this tall, and I couldn't share it because it doesn't feel like it's clean enough to share. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to get, anyways. Oh, speaking of bacteria, molds, fungus, candida, yeast infections, and all the other bull crap that we've been talking about on this channel, and mites, dirt mites, and how a lot of the toxins in our home comes from dust mites. I've been telling that to my family. I'm a female, and I have had brain surgery. I'm gonna give them that. So it was, are you delusional? Are you delusional? No, I'm serious. But y'all, Dr. Yakin, he has been talking about it. They're listening to his videos because he's a man, and he's a black man, and he's an educated black man, meaning he's like, I'm a man, I know I'm smart, and I know this is what I can bring to the table, and this is what I'm bringing to the table, and so this is what I'm telling you, and this is the truth. I've studied this for 30 years. Now that we got a strong black man, a strong, educated black man talking about it, they're listening. They're listening. What did it take? A man. At least we got one. Oh, yeah, chocolate.
You can put it in a icebox for you.
Yeah, if you want to. I'm fixing to go to town. I got to get me a notebook. The kids got theirs.
I don't, let me call these in case one time get a Ziploc bag.
Oh, I'm going to the other town. I'm wanting to go to Muskogee because I need to get me one of them 2 for $8 sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to come home and research if they're made out of... I should research right now if they're made out of human... If I mean humans, oh my God. I'm going to look right... Well, I'm on the phone. Do y'all have my other phone? I know you took it hunting, and that's okay. I don't need it forever. You can have it back. You can have it back right now. I just need to look up if this sandwich is made out of human consumption meat. Because if it is, I'm not going to be able to eat it. Do you have the other phone? I got to look up and see if...
I still need it for
I know.
later.
I'll let you have it back. I got to check and see if this is...
We had to turn that stuff off, it boiled over in.
I meant for it to just get hot and I needed a cup of it. I didn't mean for it to boil over again.
It's boiled over. It's turned off right now.
Will you put some in a cup for me? Okay, hold on.
Put some more water in it.
Not that everything Google says is accurate truth, but hold on. Hey Google, is the Arby's au jus 2 for $8 sandwiches made out of human meat or is it made out of real beef from a cow? Okay, I'll dig deeper because I know not all of Google is accurate, but I'm going to take this for now. It says the meat at Arby's au jus sandwiches is made real beef from a cow, especially in the USDA inspected beef round roast. It is long-standing urban legend that it is made from human meat or a liquid gel paste, but that is false. I'm not so sure. Just sit down right there, babe. Thank you. It says that the ingredients of the roast beef is simply beef, water, salt, and sodium phosphates. The perception of it being fake or liquid likely stems from the way it is processed and shipped. Processing. The beef arrives at Arby's location in a prepackaged vacuum-sealed bag with self-basting solutions. The solution is thick, gelatinous broth containing water and seasonings that keep the meat juicy during cooking. Preparation. In the restaurant, the sealed bag with the beef and the solution is slow roasted in an oven for several hours. Then it's cooled on a rack and then it's placed on the slicer in order to have the meat sliced. Texture. The process. Sometimes described as emulsification process for certain processed meats. Though Arby's maintains its whole roast beef results in a tender, thinly sliced product with a consistent texture that may not resemble a traditional home-cooked pot roast that's sliced right off the bone. Okay? Now, in 2017, it went around thick on Yahoo that Arby's meat was made out of humans. In 2025, it says it's been debunked. Why do people continue to believe that Arby's roast beef is fake? In 2024, there was the first argument, and it was stubbornly held on to. And ever since, Arby's has faced a marketing problem. It's been underappreciated. They quickly forgot about the oven mitt mascot. But the fake meat myth is hard to shake. I was wanting to look up what that one word meant, because you have to look up every bit of these ingredients. Y'all, on that one ingredient package, earthibrates, that's earthworms. Okay, phosphates. What is sodium phosphates? Let's get into it. What is sodium phosphates? Salt, phosphoric acid containing sodium. There's various forms. Saline laxative on an empty stomach, colonoscopy. Oh, I know about that kind. It's a food additive in foods like cheeses that strengthen the shelf life. It's also a cleaning agent. Detergents use it. Well, phosphates is in makeup. Excessive consumption can be harmful, especially to the kidneys, and it can be life-threatening. There can be drug interactions, especially with the heart and the kidneys. That wasn't the word I wanted to look up, though. What was... Okay, look. Basically, not that that's the absolute answer, but at the same time, he's hurting. He can't even walk far to go hunting. And he don't even know I'm able to hear him. He just got through saying it. So it's not just with days that he works too much. It's with hunting too. But he had to take the boys hunting today because the deep freeze is getting pretty low. But you know what? God blessed them. God blessed them.
Oh, I got something for you.
What?
It's ain't human, it's real liver.
I'm going to try to eat the deer liver because I know Jacob says it's good for me. But Lord have mercy.
When you want to try it.
This evening, I guess. My ancestors ate it. It's got a lot of copper, and I know my body's depleted of copper.
I'm gonna cook it like I did that beef liver.
Remember, thin slice is
I gotta
better.
get beef broth. Oh, Easton. Did he tell you the story?
What?
He did nothing but skin deer.
What did I do with that towel?
That's right here, I moved it.
I need to wipe my nose. He's scared of deer.
Yeah, he's shot first. He goes, I hear something walking behind me, and I said, well, it could be deer. And he goes, deer. I said, well, and then I heard him shoot. Well, I said, I dropped him, I got her. I said, well, just leave her laying there and we'll finish hunting and we'll go get her. Well, about 5 minutes later, he said, you won't believe this, but it got up and ran off, walked off. So we're gonna look for blood. So he got up and looked, I can't find no blood. Not even where it was laying or anything. So he sits back down, and about 9 o'clock, Easton thought, about 8:50, Zeke, what was Zeke? Zeke said, we ain't gonna see anything, we ain't gonna see anything, I'm ready to go. We ain't gonna see. So I said, hush, we'll set him another 15 minutes, we'll see something. And no sooner I seen that, said that, I looked up and here's the door. Walked out, boom, when she kicked like a hitter, took off running, and like 5 of them behind her took off. And they were running towards Easton. I said, I told Zeke said, Easton's gonna get shot. And by the time I looked over, here comes another doe. But it was way close now. Boom, I shot it and it took off. As soon as I shot it, took off, and then I seen Zeke shooting. When Zeke shot, I seen the whole side go, big old blood clot. Blood and it just flipped in there. And I said, well, there's a dead, and we know it's dead. And then Easton shot again. As I told you, they went towards Easton. He got him one. And then no sooner Easton shot, bear shot. I was like, oh, we all got a deer. And then, Easton, I told Easton to look for his, and he couldn't find it. He missed it. And Bear, he said, I swear I got him. There's a big one too, big old buck. I swear I got him. And walked up, and when he got there, where he was sitting, and where he shot was pretty thick, and he goes, but it was running. And I said, with no blood, nothing. I said, yeah, you didn't hit it. It was running. You didn't hit it.
Oh man, but he wanted.
He said it stopped, but it came from it was a whole different set of deer from what we shot.
Oh.
Whole set of deer. But when we shot it. That's what he said. It took off right when he was fixing to squeeze the trigger. When it took off, it took off. He squeezed the trigger.
So who got the deer today?
Me and Zeke. I hit the
You
first.
got two?
No, he only got one.
Oh, one. Hey, don't say only.
And it took off, and but I know I hit it because it was kind of cool. And it took off, and when Zeke hit it, he just flipped it. He rolled it.
Yeah.
And so I know, Zeke killed it, but I shot it first. But Zeke it was the finishing kill. Oh yeah, I got to check these things in.
Yeah, you better do that. We don't want no legal trouble.
You got my social security card here?
It's in my wallet. Bring me my wallet and I'll show you where it's at.
I don't know what it looks like, but
Bring it to me because I have it in a specific place.
it's in here. I can't believe I dropped that deer.
Good job. Hold on, hold on, hold on. They're right here and they're in order of oldest to youngest.
Oldest, yeah. It was more like youngest to oldest.
Well, yeah, if you go from the back way. I'm glad they got a deer. They've been out quite a bit, and Bear is trying to get one so, well, Zeke too, was trying so much and just felt like it was never going to happen, but it did. And now they feel capable and like a man, and they're going to be all right. They're going to be able to take care of themselves. What is this? This is lime and lemons and salt and clove. Your magnolia tree, put it in there. Put your weeping willow tree in there. Mix it all together. See what the Lord blesses you with. He'll bless you with something. Let me tell you. Oh, don't forget your cayenne pepper. And the cayenne pepper in that came from the garden out there. And I wanted them to dig up them pepper plants just like last year. I was like, we can keep these growing all winter long. And we did last year. We had cayenne growing for like months.
Where does this go?
Right here in my wallet. Why didn't Zeke put it up? He knew exactly where it went because he got it out. Hold on. I have it in a specific order because I know exactly.
What are you going to Muskogee for?
Well, for one, I thought y'all was going to be hunting all day. Or may not.
Yeah, but
I may not get to go now.
we're going back hunting with Carlos when he gets here. I almost had a big buck. Well, the biggest buck I saw there.
Put that in my wallet, please.
I couldn't get it to stop. Too much gunshot going on. It was
Really?
not wanting to stop. Where's your purse? Oh, found it.
Back in 2017 and 2018, my son was dating this girl. And we had known her pretty much her whole life, and she'd had some issues, but she was trying in life, or what it seemed like at the time. And Cayenne gonna be breaking them sinuses, let me tell you, baby. And so she wanted to go to beauty school. And I think I was 38 at the time. I know I was 38 at the time. And I had just beat ovarian cancer, which I did have to have a hysterectomy. I did. But that's a long story. Anyways, beat ovarian cancer. And walked in with her in Tulsa at a beauty school. And she was filling out her application. And it just so happened that, like, the main worker or the main teacher, she was an instructor. The main instructor was there. There was a female and a male. And I was there with my son's girlfriend, and she was filling out her paperwork and all of that to get accepted. And they was like, I want you here. And I didn't even think I would get accepted or anything like that. And they were like, no. You can get a scholarship. You can get grants. You know, we want you here. I wanted to do it so bad. The following year, I got sicker than a dang dog, and this house flooded. Every time I have tried to start all over, something bad happened. So it almost puts you in a point of you get scared, and you're like, I don't want to start over this time. Something bad's going to happen. But at the same time, if I stay stagnant, I'm just going to give up and die. So I'm in a catch-20. I'm between a rock and a hard spot. Like, something's going to have to give. Either I'm going to make it in life and we're going to succeed, or, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's going to happen. It better happen this time. I keep relying on God. I'm like, come on, God. Come on. You know? And so it is what it is. Yep. I got it down the hatch, y'all. And I will tell you something. I deal with a lot of blood clots. I really do. And I've been on the pill form of blood thinners. Then I had to go on the shots for a while. for like several years straight. And I'm doing everything in my power to prevent to have to do that again. And the cayenne pepper, once it hits your system, you can tell a difference in how your blood flows. I am not joking you. You think I'm playing, but I'm not. Already I can take a deeper breath in. It still hurts to a level. Of course, I have a bra on. It's not a tight bra. I mean, it is not tight at all, you guys. It looks like it holds it in place. These are some of the best bras I bought. And I didn't pay a lot of money for them. I got them from Shein. They're some of the cheapest bras. This whole outfit came from Shein. This is like 5 years old. This is one of the first outfits I had gotten. And it was way too big. And I can wear them and they're not going to fall off. You know what I mean? But I was down to 82 pounds when I had bought these. But if you have vascular problems and blood flow problems, if you got heart problems, you need your best friend's going to be some cayenne pepper. And I'm not joking. It helps your blood a lot. There's was it the Aztec Indians? I have to get my notes out. But they're like part of Mexican, and like they're like an Aztec culture or something like that. They have very little heart problems. But they eat a ton of cayenne pepper. And there's very little vascular disease and stuff like that. All these countries and places, we can all learn from people, you know, and learn from each other. Just like back in the day, my folks was like, okay, Nanny didn't have a lot of allergens in her house for the longest time till her house flooded. But a lot of people in the community did. And they had a lot of dust mites. And Nanny thoroughly dusted her house every week. Even our house growing up. It always had to be dusted. Okay. Make sure the nose is clean. Listen. If you don't take anything from this video today, except the fact that every morning, before you get out of bed, well, you probably need out of bed first, but blow your nose. Every morning I try to blow my nose. And I do wash my bed sheets at least twice a week. And I just had a lady recently, just this last week, say, twice a week is too much. No, it's not. No, it's not. And here's why. It needs to be at least twice a week. Here's why. Because when I get out of the bath or shower, I generally have to put some oil on my face or at least get it in my hand and go straight to bed. I do not want to fall in this floor. I don't want a broke hip or a broke rib or anything like that. And I get very weak and very dizzy coming out of the bath or shower. And so from wetness and that kind of thing, plus, you know, if there's any activity that's gone on in the week, it needs washed. You know? It's just the way it is. Have you noticed? I think he is going to come back around. I think he hit rock bottom with depression. And he's going to come back around. I'm not a man. I don't know how to deal with a man's form of depression. I don't know how they, struggle. I know a lot of women, will talk it out. He's not a talker. He is starting to talk more, though, and I notice it's helping him. It's also helping me because I don't feel as left out and I don't feel as in the dark, and I'm not having to try to figure out what's going on. Inside, I already knew. I knew he's dealing with depression, but I'm not hearing it from him. Now, I've pretty much heard it from him. He's struggling. Now we got to get him help, and real help, not play around help, like real help, which he also told me. I need this particular counselor in my life. I haven't been able to open up to any counselor before. I can talk with him. Even if it's not he said, even if it's not coming out and directly saying, hey, I feel like a failure, or hey, this, or hey, that, he said, I'm not going to directly just say that. But at least having a man in the home holds him to accountability to where he's wanting to be in the future. It lets him see staying stagnant is not an option. And I respect that. I can see that because as a woman, I needed a woman in my life that understood I don't want to stay stagnant. I'm not going to be able to work in the nursing home setting again and clean up bodies and things like that. I physically cannot do that. But there is something I do want to do in life. There is goals I do want to do. There are things I need to fulfill in life to make me fulfilled as a person, as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, as a human, Doobie, dooby doo. I think it's going to be alright. In fact, I know it is. And I didn't even want to do my makeup today. I just was like, if I go to Walmart in my pajamas, people will leave me alone. if I go to Walmart in my pajamas I slept in last night and I don't take a bath till I come home, they're gonna be like, I don't want that woman. I don't want her. I can come home, I can look nice, I can smell nice here, and I'm not gonna be attacked. But no. And as much as I didn't want to even do this morning, I still wanted to spend time with people, and I still wanted to talk some and try to hear people. Can I hear you? Are you talking to me? Are you listening? Well, here we go. I'm gonna put you back down to where you need to be, I guess. Oh, you know what I need? I need a phone holder to go on that mirror, but I can't get one of those today. I do have to get a binder because I put in too much work writing all this out and it not going in an order that it needs to go in and be taken care of. So it was during Chesley's second back surgery. Yeah, and it happened again during his third back surgery. So I had made multiple pictures, hand drawn, hand painted, hand colored. I mean, I use all kinds of things from markers to colored pencils to paint, all kinds of things. From no-tip paint to watercolors to I'm learning oils, that kind of thing. I use a lot of mica colors. I use a lot of old makeup palettes. I like the makeup palettes I had ever since I was in high school. I shaved them down and used them for colorings. But anyways, I had the first back surgery. I had 6 tables set up in the living room. No, I mean, that was the second back surgery. The first back surgery, we thought he was going to have this back surgery, be done with it, boom. We wish we'd have had Boone to begin with. That's all I'm going to say on that. Anyways, so I had all this artwork that I'd spent numerous times that had been in my art book, and I took them out and I set them in Toto Boat epoxy, because that's my favorite brand, and it basically made its own glass frame. I worked hard on these. One was like a black and gold cat with roses all around it. Several women, some had hats on, some had flowers. What else? Some ocean scenes. a lot of cowgirls, cowboys, a lot of Native American art, a lot of animals, that kind of thing.
Are you still on the scale?
Yeah, I'm almost through. I got like literally 5 minutes. That's it. And so I had all these set on the table, and they were drying. And I had done them the day before and had my luggage packed, had all this art going, and it was drying. And they had to dry for like a whole week in these molds. And he ended up being in the hospital for 3 nights. And I come home. My kids had their laundry on top of wet epoxy. They had their good school clothes and good Bible study clothes on top of wet epoxy. And I came home and it was dried. So pretend like this was epoxy and this is clothes. And it just didn't come off. 5 children. Yeah. So, his third back surgery, which was the second time this happened, same thing. I set all tables up in the living room, had epoxy going, this happened again. His fourth back surgery, I didn't do it. I was trying to make stuff to sell. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. And so there's that. Now, we can laugh about it. Boy, at the time we couldn't. It was not funny. It felt like, oh, because I'm a woman and I'm trying to make some income. I'm a woman and trying to be a business owner. I've lost my health. I've lost everything. Now you're trying to I'm just trying to put some food on the table. Just trying to get some clothes for people. Just, I don't know. So what I'm trying to tell you is you have to start all over 500 times in life before you get anything right. And then if you get it right, you're fortunate. But the kids are learning art now. They're bringing in the leather, which is something I've actually been praying for. And I was praying to God, please, please get these kids involved in it. I know they would make good Leathermans. And now they got to spend their learning fund on leather. And so I've told them, you're a business owner. Your learning fund went to open the business of leather making because that's what you're capable of at your age level and you can do. Start watching YouTube videos. Start learn how to work with this leather. And then Easton had a friend that knew how to work on leather, at least to some extent. And so he's been doing that. And that kid just went like that with it. And so it's just it's God's timing. I wanted the business going then, and I wanted the kids growing up in it, right? And business oriented. They weren't ready to fully grow up at the time. Now they're getting a lot more mature, right? They're learning their own boundaries. They're learning that's mom's business stuff. I cannot, I have to ask permission to get into that. Mom bought that out of business account. I got to ask for permission. Okay? And now they're realizing, oh, if I ask mom, she'll let me. She'll let me use the heat gun. I just have to put it back and plug it in because that's where the station for the heat gun goes. Now they're learning that. They're also learning, like I've got a kid the other day. He knew. I said, yeah, you're allowed to use it. But you have to put it back when you're through. And you have to plug it in. Because I can't bend it. Never mind, I don't want to use it. That choice is yours. You didn't pay $39 for the heat gun. Mom did. Right? Correct. If you want a heat gun and you want to put it in the yard and leave it out there, then get your own. Okay. Then that might be what I need to do. Now, 2 or 3 days went by. Guess what? He decided, you know what? It's going to take me a half a day to work for the money. It's going to take me 4 hours of work to get the money to buy a heat gun. Can I just use yours and put it back? Isn't that what I told you? Yeah. Okay. Guess what? The kid used the heat gun. He put it back. He put it back, and it worked out just fine. The heat gun still works. He didn't return it damaged. He returned it in the same working order that it left in. It's not left out in the yard. It's put back on the desk where it goes. So there was mutual respect, and it works out. That's maturing. That's maturing. It is. And I think a lot of it helps by just explaining to them, you have the potential to be a business owner. You have the potential to be anything you want to be in this world. Okay? And that means if you want to stay negative, you have that potential. Okay? If you want to say, I only have a job 2 days a month, and that's only because I have to clean up after the grandkids. Stop saying that. Say, Lord, you bless me with this job. I get to work 2 days because they don't know how to organize and clean up their mess. And Grandpa wants his business running, and he don't want to spend his time cleaning and organizing a mess. So what is he going to do? He's going to pay me and my brother. And guess what? I'm learning the metric system and what's the other system? Whatever. We have the inches and all of that and the centimeters. Well, there's also millimeters and the other kind of measurement. And they're learning that. They're learning it. And they come home and they're like, I don't remember the exact ruling that Zeke said, but he came home and he said, Mom, I learned today that this socket in a millimeter is the same as this socket in standard. I'm just going to say standard. I don't know what it's called. But he learned those things. And he's like, this is the same as this. You see what I'm saying? And I can respect that he needed a hands-on something to learn, because when I was learning fractions and all of that, it didn't make sense to me except if I was in the kitchen cooking. A half of a cup is a half of a cup is a half of a cup. So if it's a half a cup and a half an inch, a half a cup is two. 2 halves make a whole. A half inch and a half inch is going to make a whole inch. Okay? A fourth of a cup. I used to know how many teaspoons it is. This is a fourth cup. This is a fourth inch. It takes 4 of these to make 1 cup. It takes 4 of these to make 1 inch. The kids are learning the metric system and standard measurement, and I could teach them an inch and a ruler, but I can't teach them a tool that you work on a car with, right? Like, I think I can tell you where the transmission is. Isn't the transmission the thing in the car that's got like this big old heavy ball looking thing? I think that's a transmission. I know for sure where the battery is. And the radiator. I can tell you those 2 things. But there's a whole lot of crap in a car that I can't tell you. But those are areas in life that they can learn from someone else. And I'm learning because the kids are learning. They've come to me and they said, Mom, Tom says that's a tire. That's not a tire. This is what a tire is. Okay, I know what a tire is. I know the difference between a tire and a rim, I think. But anyways, you feel me, dog. All I'm trying to tell you is it almost takes a village to raise the kids. But you got to trust the village that's raising them. And if people of that village don't respect their parents, then they're not going to be good teachers for those kids, because they'll teach those kids how to disrespect those parents. And boy, let me tell you, if you want to get a household disarrayed, start disrespecting a parent. I'm serious. When there is not no respect in a home, the home gets and ugly. When respect starts coming back in the home, you'll see, and the home will start functioning smoothly. And as parents, if it's a grandparent, if it's an aunt, if it's an uncle, if it's a stranger, if they're coming in your home or they're taking your kids outside of the home going, and that's causing disrespect in your home, it is your job to put a stop to it. And I'm going to tell you, as a wife and as a mom, even if I'm upset with my husband, just like the other day, I was upset. There's a reason why, and I understand what one of my sons said. Okay, and he had a very valid point, and it brought something to the table. Now, because he had a valid point, later, well, da-da-da-da-da was said. And before anything could have been said by that parent, I said, no. You cannot disrespect. You cannot make fun of your parent. That's putting you in a bad light. You can't do that. But Mom, this happened. Yes, that might have happened that day. Okay? That might have happened that day. It was not directed to you. Okay? Did you understand it on an adult level? Yeah, you did. More than anybody realized, child, you understood at an adult level what should have took place at the moment and what should not have took place at the moment. However, and I'm glad you stood your ground, lessons was learned, okay? But you still can't disrespect your parent. You can't put them down. And furthermore, if you're making fun of your dad because his pants are too short, he's 6'6", okay? And his pants may be too short because we can't find them at Walmart in his size and price range. But little boy, you've got pants that fit you. And you're leaving them on the floor. So stop putting somebody down. Were you right over here on this subject? Yes, that doesn't make you an adult. Right? Right, Mom. Okay, cool. Now, let's move about our business. And we did. You know what happened before we all went to bed that night? You know what we got? Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I love y'all. I want you to have a good night's sleep. He didn't hate us. He actually respected us. He respected both of us. I think he respected me a little more the next day because he realized. Now, he pressed my buttons the next morning. He did. But I think he had a little more respect because he actually said over coffee, I know I was right on this. I know I was right, and I don't understand my dad didn't know it at the moment. He knew I was upset. And when I got upset, and when I talked to his father, I didn't talk to his father in front of him. We talked out in the truck, away from all the kids. There wasn't nobody around. And he knew I was upset. But, still, the next morning, then my son, he wanted to see, and it's just a kid thing. I remember doing this with my parents. Well, can I disrespect you? It's testing boundaries. It wasn't even an absolute in their mind they want to disrespect. It's not that. It was a boundary testing. But you have to understand, 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds are stepping into a brand new testosterone level. They've never been at this level before. Also, their size and their tone, their voices are deeper now. I've got a 17-year-old that's 6'6", and he weighs probably 275. He's not fat. And now I've got a son a little bit bigger than him, but he's softer spoken. And I am not scared of that son. This one child, I'm not scared of him, but there are moments that he is intimidating to me. Part of that is out of his control. Part of that is me as a woman, and I know why I feel this way. And so in those moments, I have to step back and just be like, well, this is your house, this is your kitchen, bye. Or if I was in the kitchen first, I'm like, this is my house and my kitchen at the moment. You can have this kitchen when I get through cooking these eggs. You know what I mean? And then we talk it out. You know what else? He's also realizing, man, maybe my tone is a little intimidating. Guess what? The past few months, he's working on his tone. Okay? His assignment this week was on patience. I am slow, son. You are correct. You wanted to get these dishes done. You wanted me to be out of that kitchen in 15 minutes. I am so sorry, but my body don't move that way. I am extremely slow. I'm working through pain, and I'm doing the best I can. And he's like, but I don't need to work on pain. Maybe I do. And then he did. At the same time, it's not just me disciplining the kids. I can't tell the kids this to their face because it'll go to their head. My kids discipline me more than anybody in this world. They do. I wouldn't leave this house ever again if it wasn't for these kids. But because they're children and because they deserve to have some type of life, regardless, I have to do this. I have to get out of the house some. I don't feel like it, but I have to. It's just the way it is. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not scheduling my day around when I have better pain management. I don't wake up with great pain management, and by the time I go to bed, I'm generally in a lot of pain. I also am taking some natural substances that help me sleep because I have such vivid dreams and because my mind goes 90 to nothing and does not shut down. If I had something that's attached, if I had something that could attach to my brain and read it as I'm sleeping, the stories, the movies, the whole nonchalant, the songs that would come out, the art projects, the business plans, all of it. There's so much in here, there is no way I can do it all. There's not physically that many hours of the day. But I want to. And I have some ideas. It's just now some of these ideas, there's some plans I'm going to do. I'm going to have a studio. I'm going to have some sort of art museum. It will happen, watch. Art, makeup, skincare, fashion. These are kind of things that I like. This is something I'm going to do because I enjoy it, okay? Now, I'm not going to be able to be a surgeon. I'm not qualified. And I'm going to tell you, I am not qualified. If we had more people that would tell you they're not qualified, we might have a few more living in the Tulsa area. You know what I mean? But, you know, when you become a parent, it's not just you teaching the kids. These kids teach us every single day. They teach us. You know, in so many ways, they teach us. It's amazing to me. And I'm going to tell y'all something. That oldest boy, just a few more days and he's going to be here. And then this house is going to be alive. Like, when they're all 5 here, this house is busting at the seams. Like, it's loud. And it's enjoyable loud. I have 5 boys, but they generally don't fight a lot. They really don't. They generally get along real well. Especially if they each get their 10 to 15 minutes a day with each parent by themselves, they're usually not fighting so much. You know. Tough and Bear like to have their coffee with me in the morning. Usually, Tough's out of bed first, and then Bear. Now, during hunting days, Bear's out of bed first, and then Tough. Okay? And they like their coffee strong, y'all. I mean strong. And I'm getting where I can't hardly drink coffee no more. It makes me sick. This morning I tried to drink like 2 sips. I knew I was going to start throwing up. I had to put it up. I had to put it up and get it away from me because I love coffee. I had to put it up, get it away from me, and be like, I can't do it. Y'all can have it. I don't know what it is. My chemicals, everything in my body has changed. And it is what it is. But anyways, listen. I spent almost an hour and 45 minutes on this screen today with you guys, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And according to Google, we can scripturally have us an Arby's sandwich. And y'all do your own research. And if they come out and it is human meat, y'all better let me know. And I mean, y'all need to send me the research and tell me where it's at and what's going on. Because if it is, now that's against the Bible. We're not supposed to be cannibals up in here. And so you better let me know, because I don't want to be deliberately sinning. But now I looked online and I said, hey, is it so? And they said, no, it's not. Now I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying Google is the 100% where it's at. But, you know, for the moment, I'm going to see if it's okay to eat an Arby's sandwich. But the kind with the au jus sauce, not without the au jus, okay? You got to have the au jus. And I am going to flat tell you, I am due for medication, and I'm going to take that. And I'm not breaking no laws. I'm not breaking the Constitution. I'm not breaking the Bible laws. I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do, because I know I cannot handle this pain at this level all day long. I just can't. And so I'm going to take the prescribed medication. I take it as prescribed. And I'm going to go into town with my child. And we're going to have a mother-son moment. And we're going to make 2 stops. That's all we're planning on making. And the child I'm going in town with, he's a grown man. And he puts himself on limits too, so he knows what. So basically, he and me are on a lot of the same time frame. I can handle this amount, and he's like, that's what I can handle. So that's what we're going to do. And eventually, I'll be able, hopefully, be out and about in the community. But right now, no. We're not going in this town, that town, or the other town. We're going in a couple of towns over that way. So, y'all have a great day, and may the Lord be with you. May you stay blessed. I do love you. I don't wish anything bad upon you or anybody else. If you have to, get some extra help, whether it's emotionally or mentally or spiritually, it's okay. It's okay to do that. And just have a good day. Okay? Bye.